Governor Greg Abbott is asking the Texas Supreme Court to remove the leader of the Texas House Democrats from office. He's accusing State Representative Gene Wu of abandoning his office by leaving the state to block Republican efforts to redraw congressional maps. Here to talk more about the claims being made and what the law says about it is Andrew Cates. He's a lawyer and an expert on Texas ethics laws and even wrote a book about it. Andrew, welcome and thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
So first, help us understand the argument that the governor is making in his emergency petition. What is he laying in it? What is he laying out in that exactly in that petition to the Texas Supreme Court?
Yeah, so this is called a quo warranto action, which is a really old English common law term for taking action to remove a corporate charter or a public official from office because they took actions that forfeited it by law. So his two main arguments in this are one, that Representative Wu deliberately fled the state to abandon his official duties indefinitely because he made statements like, my commitment to this is one day at a time, will stay as long as necessary, etc. Basically saying that leaving the state during a session and not giving an end date is tantamount to abandonment of his duties as a legislator. The other is bribery, saying that him putting out posts saying support Texas House Democrats as we deny quorum, please support our efforts, was a solicitation to financially support his skipping a vote.
Okay, we'll talk about the bribery piece of this or the allegations that in just a moment, but based on your reading of what the governor has laid out here, what do you make of it?
Well, I mean, you know, the court, I mean, of the actual petition, you know, it's got some good parts and bad parts, I think. I think the felony bribery piece is a stretch, but there are some points in there that he's making good points about. The political makeup of the Supreme Court itself is, I think, going to factor into it. It's 100% Republican. 2/3 of the bench was appointed to the court initially by Governor Abbott himself. Obviously, they've had to run races since, but you know that was the initial appointment. That also means they have a constituency that wants a certain outcome to this filing. And I have a great respect for judges, but realistically, as an elected official, you're always kind of looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, of course, we'll have to keep watching that very closely as this proceeds. Now, some Republicans out there are claiming that all the Democrats who left the state, not just Gene Wu in this case, are forfeiting their offices by breaking quorum and should be removed because of that. Help clear up something. Does Texas law support those claims?
That's a tough question.
Okay.
Texas law doesn't say, and that's the problem. If it did, this would be clear cut and they'd all get vacated. But the law isn't that clear. You know, the governor argues that it's a prolonged open-ended time away from the Capitol constitutes abandonment, without acknowledging that breaking quorum has been a storied tradition in politics almost as long as quo warranto actions themselves back to pre-colonial times. I think it's no different than utilizing a filibuster, honestly. It's the same way to slow down or stop legislative actions. You know, you may not like it, but under the law, breaking quorum by leaving the state is no different than reading Green Eggs and Ham in a cookbook for 5 hours.
Okay, and that's in reference to Ted Cruz's filibuster a few years ago. One more thing that we want to ask you about, this is some developing news today. So just this afternoon, Attorney General Ken Paxton has said he's investigating Beto O'Rourke's political group for donating to Democrats who left the state. Some Republicans are saying that amounts to bribery, which you were referencing a little bit earlier. So are contributions to support the Democrats in this way allowed under Texas law?
So under Texas law, generally, yes, as long as there's no quid pro quo, we're giving you this money so that you do this thing. It has got to be a we support you, you know, just generally speaking. It's just like any other, you know, support Texas Democrats, support the Republican Party, whatever. The reason I think that they're pushing so hard on the felony bribery piece is that felony bribery, if convicted of a felony, specifically under Chapter 601 of the Government Code, means that a member of the legislature vacates their position upon final conviction of a felony. And so I think that's the end-around move to try to get these folks at least indicted on a felony so that they can be extradited and so that maybe this vacating petition will stick.
And we'll note that Democrats right now are saying that they are sticking to their cause and staying out of state at the moment. But Andrew Cates, we will definitely be having you back here to discuss more about this. Appreciate you sharing your expertise today. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you.